Today, The Crow turns 30 years old. So much anniversary this year for me. So I want to take a look at this movie not only because there's a reboot coming, but also to celebrate 30 years. Since it's been a while since I've seen the original. The last time I saw it was on Netflix in 2019 or early 2020 during the movie night pandemic. Yeah, I think it was during the 2020 pandemic movie night that I did. And watching this film is a very great experience because this movie is different from other superhero movies because it has a tone to the story, world, and the main character. It is haunting, dark, and intense because the world the and the tone is extremely dark with violent characters, dark cities, and brooding moments. And the main character, played Eric Draven, we'll get to the casting performances in a minute. He's a broken, haunting, and menacing character. Whenever he feels Shelly in himself, he's thinking about her, or when he is like destroying like the shop scene with Gideon, or like when he destroys his own guitar. He is one heartbroken dude, and when he kills his killers, he doesn't mess around. He that is something he really needed to do. Um, and Sarah, the little girl in it, is really good. Not only does she narrate this story, but she tries to be a good ally to other characters like Darla and Eric, and she does a the actors that portrays her does a great job. I think she's one of the best child actors from alongside Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone and Hilary Duff and Lizzie McGuire and Lee Thompson Young and Jed Jackson. Um, and she does a great job, especially when she gives a more serious and dramatic tone. Ernie Hudson, who is like who plays like the cop in the movie, does a good job. He is not funny, but he shares a lot of heart with Eric, especially since he gave Eric like the scene where of 30 hours of Shelly's final hours, which is kind of depressing. This entire movie is depressing, and that's how he decided to defeat Top Dollar, who is the main antagonist. I talk about the villains because they are again menacing, psychotic, and messed up characters. They're responsible for the death of Eric and Shelly, and to see them get killed by Eric is justice. Like they're not people that you don't want to hang out with. Not even the two main villains, Top Dollar and uh, Bailing's character or Fun Boy. And yeah, and of course their deaths are pretty messy. Victims, aren't we all? And the soundtrack is very spectacular since it fits well the tone of the film and the character of Eric since he was a musician before he got killed. And of course, I can't talk about this movie without mentioning the fact that this is the movie where Brendan Lee, of course, passed away from making the movie with a prop gun accident. Who was supposed to marry his fiance in real life, which is why it was dedicated to both of them. And also, they used stunt doubles, so it's hard to say like his performance is fantastic because he didn't film all of his scenes. But for the scenes that he was able to film, I can tell watching it because of his voice and his face. He does a very good job as Eric Draven, as like I said, this broken, haunted, menacing, unstoppable, invincible character is very does a good job. Even when it's stunt double, it does a good job being like hiding his face sometimes. Um, and visually, the film looks amazing. Now, I mean, it's dark, but it's visually greatly dark. And even when it was night, I mean, it was day. There was daytime in the middle of it. It felt a little gritty a little bit. And the fight scenes are very spectacular as well. So yeah, The Crow is a very amazing film, like one of the most greatest superhero films of all time, one of the most unique superhero films of all time because of its different feel to it. So that's how I feel about The Crow. So happy 30 years of The Crow. Can't rate all the time, by the way.